Today on Family Matters.
I used to be such a cute little girl, and now all three of them, they all want mummy, mummy, mummy. He will act to other people. He's a dad. He's this wonderful dad.
How can I be a wonderful dad, Terry, if you don't let me see the kids?
Are you still in love with Terry?
I'll always love her, but me and Terry will never be again. It hurts. She was my best friend.
What's going on here? What's going on between the pair of you?
Don't know how much more I can take.
Do you understand what I'm telling you?
He doesn't realise how loud he shouts.
You ignorant little girl.
You're looking at him like, actually, I don't like you right now.
Sometimes, yeah.
How often do you argue about this situation?
Every day.
I don't think the problem's the kids. I really don't. I think the parents have got to butt their ideas up. And I'm hoping we can do that today. Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the show. My first guest, Terry, and her ex-partner, Andy, are here because since their split just under a year ago, their daughter Sky's behaviour has become very aggressive. Terry says her daughter hits her on a daily basis and she doesn't know how to manage her unruly temper.
I'm Terry Weatherby and my kids are Sky, Hope, Star, Weatherby.
Hello.
The main problems are Sky's behaviour. No! She gets angry. She don't listen.
5 minutes, stay in here. No. Yes, I've told you, bedroom, now.
She hits.
No, you do not touch, no. You said that like
I dread getting up every morning. Getting Sky to school is a nightmare.
There's a car! Sky! No!
When we get home, she's overexcited.
No!
You didn't need to throw that! I consider myself as a single parent to my 3 girls.
Just sit down, now stop.
And you don't do anything.
My name's Andrew. I've got 3 little girls with Terry. I think the main problems are mine and Terry's relationship.
You do not speak to your kids every day. You
Because
do
you
not...
don't let me, you weirdo.
No.
Let me go too far. She wants to cry. Terry, I try paying for my kids as much as I can. She hears me and her mum like, arguing and she does it.
You are good. No!
She is the wild child.
The screaming. I don't think anything's working, to be quite honest. I have actually tried my hardest with everything and there is nothing that is working.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Let's go back to the beginning of your relationship because this obviously is still a very raw, sensitive situation right now. Terry?
Yeah, it is. Everything was great at the beginning. We was a normal family. Though I thought, anyway. Don't know where to start, really, to be quite honest.
Let's start from your relationship. How old were you both when you got together?
When we first got together properly, I was 18 properly.
So,
but we was close when I was 16.
And then when you was 18, then you started to be in a committed relationship together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, OK. And when did you find out you were pregnant?
Straight away.
OK.
Yeah.
Was that a shock to you both?
Yeah.
That's when we got together. I got pregnant before we got actually together.
So basically you found out that you were having a baby?
Yeah, and then we got committed.
So what was that like for the pair of you?
I was excited. That's all I wanted to be as a mum.
All right, so you're excited?
Yeah.
And yourself?
I was excited, but it was a scary thought.
OK, so when did then the troubles start?
He was cheating straight away.
Yeah, I did.
As soon as we met, he was cheating. He cheated on me with the bird he was with. But I didn't find this out till, like, later on.
So, whilst you found out...
When I was in labour, he was cheating.
Right, so whilst you were having Sky,
yeah.
you were cheating and you were with somebody else? Right, OK. All right.
Yeah. I can't lie. She's right.
I was so in love. I didn't believe they was all telling me, like, he was cheating and I was so in love, I didn't believe him. So that's why I kept taking him back.
So what was you feeling looking after your newborn, knowing that this was going on? How did you start to move forward?
I let him get in my head again and took him back again. We was in our own place and then I was in hospital for 2 nights. I had a miscarriage with his baby. And I came back out and then I found out he was cheating on me again. He'd got, with his other baby, Mummy got someone else pregnant.
I didn't believe you were pregnant with this baby.
Oh.
It was a miscarriage.
Being hospitalised for 2 nights, it's a lie.
So what made you feel that Terry had lied about being pregnant and...
Just everyone saying, no, she's not pregnant. It's not yours. It's not this.
Yeah,
it's not
that's what
that.
we've had.
I listened to everyone. And
that
was
is
my
the problem.
That is my biggest problem. I listened to everybody.
You didn't pick up the phone?
Yeah, I did. But every time I did pick up the phone, we'd argue. Me and Terry can't sit down and have a deep, civilised conversation. Never.
Right, well, good, because we're having one right now. Bring me up to the present, because there was more cheating. You ended up having another child. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
From somebody else?
Yeah.
There's 4 weeks between our middle one and the other one.
OK, and at that particular time, Andy was then removed from the house. You weren't together?
And went with her.
Right.
Like, lived with her, got with her.
Right, OK. And what happened in that period of time? You were then looking after 2 children then, correct?
Yeah, that is when I went into the black hole.
So you became very depressed with raising the 2 children by yourself?
Yeah.
Was there any contact with respects to your relationship with the children?
No, you can't say no, Terry.
They weren't.
Because, we try and it just argue. And then when we argue, I just think, whatever, and then I just used to sit back and leave it.
So if you sat back and left it, how long was that left? If you felt that you couldn't go around, otherwise you'd argue, how long did you sit back for?
Sometimes, like, a couple of weeks, a month. Sometimes it infuriated me, like, frustrated me so much.
So there were times that Andy just didn't call, and there were times when he would call and you would say you can't talk to your children.
No, obviously I would
Don't dare lie, it's happened, Terry, don't lie.
Then I'd obviously kick off and say what you think you can ring a month down the line when you've gone a month without talking to him.
And would you then say you can't talk to your children?
I would.
So then that's a fact. There were times then.
Yeah.
And then there were times
when I can hear the kids saying, that's Daddy, I want to speak to Daddy, I want to talk to Daddy. No.
That's...
Okay. So is this how it kind of went on for quite a long time?
Yes.
You would call, it would be maybe a long period of time, you would say that he couldn't talk to the kids.
Yeah, because
you would find out
the period
that you were
of
doing other
time-
things. Can you just let me talk? Because this is why we're here. I want us to be able to talk, hear what the other person has to say, and then respond, because that's what you both haven't been doing.
No.
Okay? So I want this to be mature and composed, because you're both parents. What do you do, like, presently? What happens at the moment? Like, what's the game plan right now?
I try and get down there as much as I can, but, it's not cheap to come down there all the time, and then it's getting down there, and then if me and Terry have an argument, it's get out.
So what's it like when you are there, and you are there with the kids?
It's nice. It is nice, but sometimes it's really stressful, but...
Why?
It's worrying because I don't know when me and Terry are going to start arguing. And then when we start arguing, she asks me to go, and then all the kids see is me walking out on them. And that does my head in, because it's not me walking out with them. It's me walking out because I don't want to argue with her.
OK. Let's go to the tape.
No, she's writing it, not me.
Andrew comes round, there's always an argument.
Take responsibility.
Me bringing up your kids is not taking responsibility, no. Why can you not bring your kids?
Listen.
Every single time.
It's Terry's way or the highway. Don't let her hold her.
I was holding her, she's fine.
He always kicks off, so it's normal.
Yeah, start this. Go away, Terry, because I just
Go,
now.
get out. Go.
You're
And I kick myself every time for giving him a chance.
Can you open the door, please? Can we get my phone? I want my phone now.
You know what?
You weirdo. How can I be a good dad if she won't let me be a dad?
You do not speak to your kids every day. You do
Because you
not.
don't let me, you weirdo.
I despise him.
What can I do? You? What do you do? You just sit on your...
Oh, so all right there, bye. See ya.
I remember one time, he was strangling me on the floor, pulling me around like a rag doll, got me onto the floor, and Sky was standing there begging him, saying, "Daddy, Daddy, stop, Daddy, stop."
The kid's behaviour is stemmed from me and Terry in the first place. I just wish he'd never had to see it all, or hear it. Because it's not fair.
Sky's definitely scarred. That's all she knows. Since she's been, like, a baby, all she's seen is violence.
When did the domestic violence start happening?
Can't remember exactly the first time, but Sky was about 7 months old. Yeah, 7 months old.
Don't sit there and make out as all me, Terry. You're just as bad. You knocked me out outside a pub.
Yeah, why?
No, it's not why, Terry.
I let you get
just
away with it.
No, you talk.
Can one
years.
talk and then the other one listen, please?
I let him get away with it for about 2 years, and then yes, I did start punching and hitting back.
Terry, you make out I punched you in the mouth, I beat you up, I've kicked you around the house, everything else. You punched yourself in the face and rang the police and told them it was me, Terry. Don't you dare lie. You've done
so
that.
You don't drag me around by my hair like a rag doll, strangle me on the floor.
When you're me in the head and when you're punching me, what do you want me to do? Stand there and say, okay?
Can I just ask you one thing while we're here? Can I just ask you to curb your language?
Yeah.
What I want you to be able to do is if you feel emotion and you feel angry, fair enough. But what I'm asking you to do here is to regulate and have some control and be truthful at the same time. That's what I do want to be able to do with a pair of you. So from being in this place where you were fighting and arguing with each other and disrespecting one another and behaving abusively, where are we right now presently? You've split up. You are no longer living together.
No.
What do you actually want from Andy? What do you want from him?
To be a dad.
You can have this conversation with Andy, respectfully, please, respectfully.
Like, he will sit there now and say, like, he will act to other people, he's a dad, he's this wonderful dad.
I don't make out, I can't be, how can I be a wonderful dad, Terry, if you don't let me see the kids? You said it yourself on video. Everyone's seen it. You will never see your kids again.
Still to come on Family Matters.
Are you still in love with Terry?
I'll always love her. But me and Terry will never be again. It hurts. She was my best friend.
We're here to be focused on the kids and the commitment that you can give to the kids, because quite clearly, there is an enormous amount of anger, betrayal, hurt and pain with the relationship with Andy, and the same for yourself, in feeling that you have been kept away from the children,
I hate Terry.
or feel like you haven't done, because you're angry with one another. Just come for a moment. Let's just go to the tape so that we can see some more here.
I do feel that this is the last chance for me. I am at my breaking point.
If things don't improve, it won't be just with me and Terry, but I believe the relationship with me and Sky will go. Me and Sky were inseparable. I couldn't leave the house without her screaming for me. I was Daddy, she was Daddy's girl. But now, it's like we drifted apart.
Like, once I got rid of him, obviously the violence weren't there, but then I felt like I was getting punished even more because my daughter was doing it to me.
Don't start! Now stop!
My main concern about Sky is her sisters, picking Star up.
She scares me because she's so big and heavy-handed. What if she drops her?
That is my main concern. That overrules everything.
I don't want her hurting them. I want Sky to look at me and be happy that I was her dad again.
Can we just stop? That is true. Sky used to be such a Daddy's little girl. And now, well, all three of them, they all want mummy, mummy, mummy.
So there's a line that needs to be drawn, correct? That there's a line with respects to the fact is you don't like each other. You're not in a place where
It's not that I don't
you're
like
cordial.
Terry. I think the world of Terry, and that's what does me in and really grits me, because I do think the world of Terry.
Are you still in love with Terry?
I love Terry. I will. Okay. I knew this question was going to be asked. I love Terry, of course I do. And I'll always love her. And it hurts me when I get told she's with another man because we spoke about so much. But then obviously we've got to let her go. But me and Terry will never be again. We can't ever be again.
This is unhealthy, Andy. It's unhealthy.
And it hurts. Because she was my best friend.
But the pair of you were, and you're saying, used to do this, used to do that.
And that's
but
why
things changed,
yeah.
Andy, things changed. You're both, let's be honest here, you know? You're talking in the past and remembering the past. But the truth of the matter is, you both need to be accountable, that you both made decisions that led to this, place where you now feel so far apart from one another. And I want to be able to concentrate on the pair of you recognising how you will move forward so that you can have a healthy relationship with your girls and that you can have a healthy relationship with Sky as well, so that she's raised in a more stable environment than what she has been. This is what I'm going to suggest. This is what I am going to suggest. That you start off by choosing, is the weekend better for you or for a weekday?
A weekend will be better.
A weekend. Okay, this is what I'm going to suggest. Okay? That you start off by showing Terry that you can come and you can do a Saturday afternoon, okay? The next weekend that you show that you can do a whole day, okay? And then you start to build on that to show that then they're gone for the weekend and they can be at your house. You're going to have to show that you can do that, Andy, in order for Terry to feel that she can trust.
She won't do it.
Well, if you don't do it, the reality is supervised
Then I
visit.
will be stopping you.
What? No, because the reality is, Terry, the reality is what happens is it goes straight to family law and mediation, and you will have supervised visits. That's what will happen.
I never know.
I won't put my kids through that.
You'll have no choice if he takes you to court.
Yeah, I meant like they should be allowed to see their daddy in his own home. I don't want them going through a
You just said it yourself. You want them to...
Yeah, but you need to build on the trust, Andrew.
You do need to build on it,
You need to build your home
Andy.
so it's child-friendly as well.
Are you not prepared to take the kids for...
Yeah, of course I am. I'll do anything for my children. I'll die for my children, and she knows it.
Then what commitment will you make?
I'll be there every other weekend to see my kids.
Every other weekend?
Yeah, of course I will.
OK, so every other weekend, OK, you will come on a Saturday, OK, and you will take the kids right up to lunchtime.
Yeah.
OK? And then you will come and do that on a Sunday. OK, Andy?
Well, no, not really.
Why?
Because I live in Kings Lynn. It's a totally different region, so I can't...
You want to see kids, you would walk.
What, from Kings Lynn?
Yep.
Terry, who's going to do that? Let's be honest. Let's talk reality.
If that was my kids,
Let's talk
and
reality.
you had...
Kings Lynn,
if you
Suffolk,
had full
take 3 hours on a train, it's going to take me 5 hours.
Yes, I would walk. I would walk to see my kids.
Terry, you don't like walking to the shop.
Yeah, all right, then. I would walk to see my kids. Hand on heart.
I haven't got the money, Joe, to come there on a Saturday, then to go back on a Saturday, and then to come back down on a Sunday.
following Sunday.
I can't do that.
Fair enough. Listen, I'm sitting here, OK, I'm sitting here working that out. You've just said to me that you don't have the money to come and do it on the Sunday as well.
Yeah, I haven't.
OK,
all right. I did have... I'd love to.
Fair enough.
I'd be there every day.
Absolutely fair enough. OK, that's realistic. OK, fair enough. So what you will do is you will come and you will do half day on a Saturday, OK, and you will do that for 3 weeks, OK?
Yeah, I would.
You'll do that for 3 weeks. And then you will come and you will do a whole day and you will drop the kids back. And you will do that for 8 weeks, OK? And then from there, we'll start having some trust built up to the point where you'll then be able to take the kids on a Saturday morning and keep them overnight and bring them back on a Sunday. Do we have an agreement there?
Yeah. As long as it's 3 weeks, 8 weeks, then overnight.
I've just said 3 weeks, 8 weeks, and then overnight. You mess up once, you're going to push back the trust. Do we have an agreement?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not just... You keep saying, like, mess up. If she doesn't like or hear something, she'll stop me from seeing it.
No, we've just made an agreement here, OK? I've set the stipulation. Do we have an agreement for these children?
Yeah, definitely.
Do we?
100%.
Can you put the camera, please? OK. 3 weeks, 8 weeks, and then overnight. Are we clear?
Yeah.
Are we clear?
100%.
OK. Now we have those kids being with their mum and their father and no dysfunction, because that's what these kids deserve. Please go and sort yourselves out and process from your own issues as well, OK? You need to heal from your own emotional scars. Thank you very much.
Still to come on Family Matters.
What's going on here? What's going on between the pair of you?
Don't know how much more I can take.
Do you understand what I'm telling you?
He doesn't realise how loud he shouts.
You ignorant little girl.
You're looking at him like, actually, I don't like you right now.
Sometimes, yeah.
Welcome back. My next guests, Leanne and Jason, contacted us as their opposing views on parenting is driving a wedge between the whole family. So much so that if things don't change, they say it could be the end of their marriage.
My name's Leanne. I live with my husband Jason, my 4 children, 16-year-old Jessica, Jacob is 9, Emily 6 and Isaac who's 3. I wouldn't say we were a dysfunctional family. but we do have quite a few issues
Stop fighting.
with regards to children's behaviour.
The main problem is the disobedience.
You just need to keep stop.
The amount of times that we have to tell the children to do things.
If the children are fighting, I'll try and split them up, put one in one place, one in another, let them cool down.
Leanne generally takes the calmer approach.
I don't want to listen to that while I'm eating.
Jason shouts really loud and can be quite intimidating.
Do you understand what I'm telling you, Emily?
The more I get irritated,
Emily?
the louder my voice gets.
Do you understand what I'm telling you?
I feel that shouting
Don't be so ignorant, Emily.
is my way of dealing with it.
Naughty girl, you ignorant little girl.
The shouting and screaming have a negative effect on the family. The life just can't carry on like this. Something's got to change.
Enough.
And I'm not quite sure what it is that needs to change.
Welcome, Leanne, Jason.
Thank you.
Looking at yourself there, what was you thinking? Just that last shot there of you, just like this. What's going on in your head?
Turmoil. Just had enough. Don't know how much more I can take.
You both say that you've got opposing differences when it comes to raising the children, and you haven't obviously found a compromise. You speak about literally Dad being really intimidating. You don't think the kids are listening. What's going on here? What's going on between the pair of you? Why has there been this turmoil as parents with respects to not just being able to come to an agreement?
Well, the way I've told you before, the way I see it is we need to do things together. We've got to both sing off the same hymn sheet, if you like. If I say, do we do something this way, we've got to do it that way, not carry on for a couple of weeks and then you decide to do it another way, because the kids need consistency.
What was your own family upbringing like?
I would say my dad was very similar.
Dad was very similar?
Yeah.
So we've got this auto-parenting.
Disciplinarian,
yeah.
short-temper, loud voice.
Yeah. And how did that feel for you? I mean, obviously, a man in your home who was a disciplinarian, but as a child, I mean, obviously, that had an effect on you. There must have been times when you just felt like, is this reasonable or is it not?
It was intimidating at times, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You remember feeling scared?
Yes.
Can you take yourself right back to how that feels, not to respect the authority of a parent, but actually to be scared of what he might do? Can you?
Yeah.
What would that feel like?
Upsetting. Frightening.
Do you feel like you're doing anything wrong?
Not in that moment, no.
So you're smacking and you're shouting is justified?
At the time, I believe so, but then I look back and I feel guilty.
Now tell me about the resentment that's been built up because of it.
Because I want to treat, discipline them one way, he wants to discipline them another, and because they're doing something to each other and hurting each other, and I'm doing one thing, he's doing another, we've got this wall that we're battling against all the time.
And sometimes we argue in front of the children.
I'm sitting between the pair of you, and I can feel the energy. Like, you're standoffish. You're on the chair, and you're looking at him like, actually, I don't like you right now. Yeah, you're my husband, but I don't like you.
Sometimes, yeah.
Is this look what you commonly get?
Probably more often than not, yeah.
I mean, does it not trigger something in your own mind, thinking, every time I look at my wife, this is the kind of look I'm getting, like, I'm obviously doing something wrong. I'm obviously not on the same page. I'm obviously not in harmony with my wife with respects to us finding a compromise?
Yeah, I accept that my way is not the best way. And I want to come to a compromise.
Do you think that's possible? Do you think it's possible for Jason to compromise?
He doesn't realise how loud he shouts. That's the problem. And if you say you're shouting too loud, you don't need to shout at... Now we do, but we need to get to the stage where we don't need to shout at them to get them to do something. We just need to ask them or tell them. You can be firm with a child without bawling at them.
Let's take a look at some videotape.
Emily, who's 6, she was diagnosed as a diabetic. Well, she actually went in hospital, one girl, and came out another.
You just need to keep Jake. Stop!
Enough.
She's gone from being a little angel to being a little monster.
She has tantrums, she punches, she smacks, she kicks, she screams.
Ollie!
The other day, Emily was doing her homework
Yesterday!
and decided to throw a file across the table to Jacob,
Emily?
which then resulted in Jacob getting up, going round the table, and they both started fighting with each other.
Stop fighting! Stop it, Jacob.
And it's just got out of control.
What do you see when you watch that videotape, Jason? Like, did things just change overnight? I mean, did it just all of a sudden? Emily has diabetes and then you have a different child, a different family?
It seemed to just happen overnight, yeah. Jacob's always had a little bit of a temper. And he's one of them that if somebody does something to him, he will retaliate. But quite often he's the instigator. Where before, but now, Emily, you wouldn't ever get a word out of Emily. She was so quiet, so reserved, so polite. I mean, they've all got good manners. But now, quite more often than not, Emily's the instigator. And because Jacob's always had a bad temper anyway, it just turns into full-blown fights all the time.
Beforehand, it was generally Jacob who was the instigator, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But now Emily's gone from being a little angel to being a bit of a terror.
How often do you argue about this situation?
Every day.
Yeah.
So every day, that's the example the kids have?
Yeah.
Of you squabbling about who's doing what and why it's not going to work and what you should be doing. The pair of you do that?
Yeah, to the extent where they say, stop fighting.
The kids turn around and say, stop fighting?
Stop
They have
arguing,
done,
yeah. Yeah.
Not
What
very
do the
often,
children say
but
to
they
you,
do.
Jason?
Daddy, stop arguing with Mummy.
What do you say? What do you say to the kids?
And what can you say to that?
Do you ignore it? I mean, what do you say to them? When they turn around and they say, Daddy, stop arguing, Daddy, stop chatting, what do you say to the kids?
I would probably say, honestly, stay out of it or something like that.
Blame me.
What do you do?
Or blame me.
What do you mean by that?
They blame me for starting it. Because I always start the arguments, apparently.
What do you mean? What's Leanne talking about?
I think it's because we visibly have disagreements in front of the children. And I would probably have a go at Leanne if she was telling me to do something different in front of the children.
Do you feel like that undermines you?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah.
Let's take a look at some videotape I did earlier with the kids. I just want you to watch this videotape because I had a chance to meet the kids earlier. And I just want you to take a look at this, please. So, why are we all here today? What's going on?
To have a talk.
Sorry?
So we can have a talk.
Have a talk. We're going to have a family talk. Are we? What does Mummy and Daddy do? What do they do when you misbehave?
He sometimes shouts.
Does he?
Yeah.
Is it different to what Mummy does, Emily?
Yeah.
So which one sounds softer?
Mum.
Mum. Mum's more soft? Would you agree with your brother? Or not really? What do you think?
Mummy.
Mummy?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So, if you could say something to Daddy about when he gets all angry.
My mum's always moaning at him for shouting.
Is she? You went,
Yeah.
Really? Is that what happens?
Yeah.
What does Mummy say then?
Well, she's like... She talks in like a really strict voice.
So, if I could help your family today, Emily, okay, what would I do? If I could help your family, what would I tell your mummy and what would I tell your daddy from you?
Don't shout.
Don't shout. The repetition. Do not shout. I personally, I don't think the problem's the kids. I really don't. I think the parents have got to butt their ideas up. And I'm hoping we can do that today. Because the reality is, you have Emily's diabetes under control, correct?
Yeah.
You have open dialogue with the hospitals, the doctors, correct?
Yeah.
You're totally in control and feeling confident with respects to understanding her dietary needs.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Right? So you're feeling confident there. You know that with the reality of blood sugar levels comes irritability and perhaps, you know, little mood swings. But the truth of the matter is that when I watch the videotape, I see two kids just mimicking the behaviour that goes on between the pair of you. Yes, they are siblings where they're going to argue. They have different personalities, different temperaments. They do wind each other up. But the reality is that the pair of you are not on the same page when it comes to looking at what you're going to do to really encourage them to get along better, knowing that they have different personalities and different temperaments, and how you're going to stick together when it comes to the discipline you're going to give the children. I mean, you can't, the battle is between the pair of you. If you could just leave the egos outside the front room and come together with recognising how consistently and together you can discipline the children, they wouldn't have any mixed messages.
Still to come on Family Matters.
Take the kids out of the equation here. Are you happy in your marriage?
It's the shouting that I don't like. I resent it.
Are you aware that if you continue, that you're going to end up losing your family? If you could just leave the egos outside the front room and come together with recognising how consistently and together you can discipline the children, they wouldn't have any mixed messages. Take a look at the tape.
As the father of the children in this house, I feel like I've got a massive amount of responsibility to provide real guidance for the children.
Stop. Stop.
Tie up.
Come here.
No, tie up.
Play the game.
Going to bed. No.
My biggest fear is for it to carry on like this. I just don't want it to carry on like this.
I would say I am struggling. What the best way of controlling the children is.
Go and brush your teeth, please. Emily!
I'm at a loss as to how to move forward. We need a bit of help. If we can't get that help, I really don't know what's going to happen with us as a family. And that makes me feel really sad.
Right, Isaac.
It's causing us to have arguments, and we'll go to bed not speaking to each other, and you know, it's all because of what's happening with the children. It's filtering through to our marriage as well, and I want that to be put to a stop as well.
So what do we do about this?
We've got to be consistent and we've got to be doing the same thing.
What happens if Jason continues to behave the way that he's doing and making you feel invisible and making you not feel emotionally supported or feeling like you're on the same page? Because you look withdrawn now. What happens?
It's not an option, it's got change. You can't carry on like this.
Why?
Because how it's affecting the children, how it's affecting us as a family.
Take the kids out of the equation here. Are you happy in your marriage?
Yeah, when he's not shouting. It's the shouting that I don't like. I resent it.
Are you aware that if you continue to be intimidating, to justify a reason every time to smack your kids, to shout at your kids, because you refuse to sit down with your wife and to discuss an effective way of being able to discipline your children, to encourage them to come to the table and want to be a part of the family, that you're going to end up losing your family?
I've thought of that possibility, yeah.
You don't think that would happen, do you?
It will if it carries on.
Yeah, but you don't actually believe that, do you?
Probably not, no.
Why?
I just feel that if anything would happen to me and Leanne, it would have a huge impact on the kids.
That's a true statement. But the reality is that every time Leanne turns around and tells you, I don't want you to do that, don't want you to behave this way, I don't want you shouting at the kids, I don't want you to do this, every time that happens, you tolerate that behaviour and you know that you can continue because nothing's done about it. And at the end of the day, all you're going to do, Jason, with this intimidating, abusive behaviour is draw a wedge with your kids. They're not going to come to you. They're not going to want to just hang out with daddy and sit on daddy's lap and talk about things. They're just going to go to mummy all the time. And you're going to draw an emotional wedge between yourself and your wife. What do you want from Jason? What do you want and what do you need from Jason? Because you've obviously been telling him for months or even possibly years and he's not been listening. What do you want?
I want him to stop shouting.
You have an opportunity right now, the pair of you, to intelligently look at how you were raised yourselves. And to be honest, like to really be honest, Jason. You know, loyalty to your parents is one thing, but truth about how that really made you feel is another. And if you can't look at yourself in the mirror and really be honest with that, then none of this is going to make sense. But intelligently, you've got to be able to understand right here that how you're behaving right now is going to cause damage. And you have a chance right now to break that cycle, literally break the mold. So where do we go from here? So what is the game plan? So what do you agree on right now? Because I'm sure there are a few things that you can both agree to work towards before you leave here today. What are those? Give me your top 3 priorities between the pair of you.
No shouting.
Well, to stop the shouting, stop the smacking.
Stop arguing in front of him.
The shouting, the way that you're going to compose yourself so that you don't get to a place of shouting, from what I've seen at looking at the tape, is that when you start to feel the first point of getting angry, which is going to be heat, okay? And I'm going to tell you that because when I look at yourself here, when you feel put on the spot, or you feel out of control, or you feel agitated, your skin flushes, okay, around your neck area. Yeah. Okay, it's your capillary area. So you're going to feel body heat. So as soon as you start to feel that, that's your first sign. The second thing, no smacking. So you'll make choices. Each one of them have what's valuable to them. Whether that's really, I mean, the ages that they are now. What's the ages of the kids now?
9, 7 and 3.
9, 7 and 3. 9, 7 and 3. For the 3-year-old, yes. 9 and 7-year-old, it's not really necessary now to use the naughty step. You know, you want to encourage them and give rewards and show positive praise for what they are doing so that they can continue to do that, because the kids will want to please. But look what their currency is. What's their currency? What's valuable to them? Going out on their bikes, having a sleepover, perhaps it's playing with something particular. Look at what their currency is. And the third one?
Not bickering in front of the kids.
And this is what I will say to you about that, okay? When you start to shout at each other and then become disrespectful to each other, you give your children a warped sense of what a relationship is. It's okay for you to be in debate about something. Well, I don't think it's the left, I think it's the right. No, I think it's the right. Okay, no, it is the left. Yeah, you were right. You've got to see resolution at the end. It's okay for them to see mummy and daddy having disagreements, but show them that we come to a resolution at the end as well, and that there's no hostility held. So no emotional grudges, no withholding physical or emotional control.
Yeah.
Can we make an agreement on those three things?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can you go home tonight with what the currency is?
Yeah.
Yep.
With recognising that it's resolution, and when one of you loses it, which is going to be you, okay? But Leanne, you can turn around and say, you need to count to 10, you're getting flush, you need to walk out the room and come back in composed, and you need to be able to accept that.
Yeah.
Don't allow the ugliness to take over.
Yeah.
You've got beautiful children, you want a relationship with them, of course you do. Doesn't make you feel good. Can we do this?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, and there's our plan. Thank you.